Hello and welcome, everyone. I believe you can hear me. I'm fired up, ready to go. This is Hack with Elvis. Today we'll be looking at a machine on TryHackMe. Without much ado about nothing, let me quickly zoom in straight and boot up my virtual machine. Okay. If you can hear me very well, please let me know in the comment section. Please let's see you send us a message on chat. Let's know what you think. So let me open a new terminal. Just doing something in here. Okay. Is the screen okay for you? Can you see it? Should I make it bigger? Is this okay for you? Yep. Please tell people we are live. Tell them we are live. Yep. Let's make this bigger. Okay. Okay, so quickly let me zoom into TryHackMe. This is not what I want to open. Let's close this. Okay. So let me try and go to TryHackMe. Wow, internet. I'm not sure. I should be having a problem with internet. Okay, then let's shut this guy down. Okay, so I think I have to restart just so that I'll be connected once again. Okay, let's see. Let's ping Google and see. Yes, and now we have internet. So let's go. Please tell your friend to tell a friend to tell a friend that we are live. We are fired up. I don't know about you, but I am. Okay. So let's go to TryHackMe. Great. Now internet is working. Yep. Signed in, logged and loaded. Okay, so today we're going to look at a room on TryHackMe, and that room is Wonderland. If you are a fan of Alice in the Wonderland, this is actually a room or a CTF around that book, and we are going to use clue from the book and clue from what we are going to see on the screen to solve the CTF, right? We're going to do a lot, so please pay attention and let's go. I hope the sound is okay. So first of all, let me join the room. and then we start our lab machine. Whilst we start the lab machine, I'll go to my terminal and I'm going to look for my VPN file. So let me ls and find out. Yes, my VPN file is here. So sudo open VPN. Okay, type my password. Once you see initialization sequence completed, it means that you are good to go. You are connected to TryHackMe platform. This will be my okay, so I think I'll have my IP address somewhere else. To see my IP address, I'll just press ifconfig and look for #0. So this will be my IP address on TryHackMe platform. So anytime I want my computer's IP address, this will be the IP address I'll be using for our pen test. However, the machine that we are going to pen test is also up and running, and it's on the 10.80.157.212. So enter the Wonderland and capture the flags. Okay, the first thing we have to do is to know what is running on the machine. What are the services that are running on the machine, right? So for example, what ports are opened, what ports are closed. And to do that, I would simply go for nmap. Let me do a quick scan, right? Let me do a quick scan with nmap. Sorry. Okay, nope. Okay, so I can add a whole lot, but I just want to check for these ones, and it should only show me open open ports. So I press enter, allow it to run. So actually we have 2 ports here that are opened, 2 of them, port 80 and port 22. Let's wait for it to end, and it's ended. So we see we have port 22 opened. Port 22 is SSH, and so we need a username and password. But since we don't have any of them, we first of all must tackle port 80. So it's telling me that if I open it, I'll see a title of Follow the White Rabbit, the methods that it supports, and then the server that is running. Wonderful. This is great. I'm loving it. Okay, so I would go to my browser and then paste the IP there and see. Yes, and if you know the White Rabbit from Alice in the Wonderland, a very nice story. I enjoyed reading it when I was a kid at the community library. This is a rabbit that Alice found in her dream and started chasing and all that. I'm not going to bore you with all those novel stuff. Let's look at it. It says follow the white rabbit. Okay, let's see if we have some folders, some files here. So let's check for robots.txt. We are doing this as if it was a real website or a real pen test. So if you have any questions, just drop it in the chat. Not found. Do we have anything like a sitemap.xml? So if you have a real world pen test, you should be looking out for some of these things. Okay, we don't have anything like that. So let's go back to our home page. But let's check the source page. So you can either right click and go to view page source, or you can press Ctrl U on your keyboard to find this out. Okay. Nothing interesting here. Yep, nothing interesting. So let's close this. And then we now have to find out if there are directories or folders that we cannot easily find. So rather than going one by one, I will start up GoBuster. Sorry, I'll start up GoBuster. Because this is a new content, let me just GoBuster, and then I'll say directory U, and then I'll paste the IP address of the target machine. So I'll paste it, and then I would say that use the word list, user share. I'm just going for a word list, right? You can use any word list that you might know. I've already used common.txt in some of our examples. Let me use this word list for you to also see. There, basta. I think it's directory 2, right? Okay, so directly, okay, directory list 2, 3 medium. I always like to use the medium one, so as to not get the smallest, neither also have a huge word list. So this is the one I always prefer. It's a matter of choice. There are other ones, you can check it out. So apart from the medium, we have the small, we have the medium, I think we have a large also. So I prefer the medium one. Just let's see if there are other folders in there. So quickly, we see that we have a /license in there. We have a /image in here, a /r in here. Likewise, we can also use another tool. We can use another tool called DareBuster, right? So I'll just say DareBuster, press enter. That one is more graphical, so I'll say http, then I'll paste the IP address of the target machine, add my slash, ask it to go faster, and go and now look for a word list. So I press the up button until I find my word list. So user share, press W here, press W press it several times until you see word list. Okay, so I've now found word list. Then let's use the same word list so as to compare the results. So lowercase, yep. Okay, so I'm going to use a blank extension, clean this, and I'm going to say start fazan. So immediately we see that it has identified a folder called R, which is similar to the results here is similar to the one we have in GoBuster, right? So R and IMG have been identified. Let's go to DareBuster. Same thing. R and IMG has been identified. But you realize that when you come down here just a little, you see that within the R, there's another folder called A, right? And then it's still fazan. Let's see. Great. So you see that it has recursively parsed the endpoint. So now we have these endpoints. All these are endpoints, and we can go to them one by one to see what it is. Now let me take you back to the website. Okay, so let's do a Control U. Okay. So if you look at this word, you see rabbit. And for some reason, our scan from their Buster is giving us the same thing here. So let me copy this, open in browser. Okay. And we have a clue here. I could have opened any of them, but by instinct, I'm just looking at the word rabbit on the website, which is here, and then me fuzzing it with their Buster and finding out that there's a URL that ends with R, ends with A, B until I get to T, then it means that that could be a clue. Similarly, I can also look at this, open. Nope, I want to open the IMG. So open. Okay, so we have 3 pictures here. Let me see if I can get any of them downloaded. So let me say Alice CTF. I want to create a folder and put them in there to make management of them easier. So let's press enter. Saved. Let's go back. Okay. So these are our images on the website, right? And what I want to do is that sometimes these images, once they've been provided in a folder, could be hiding something, right? So I'm trying to see if this image has something that is more than what meets the eye. Is that okay? Does this image or images contain any clue? Because there's a folder with IMG and there are images in there, so you don't leave anything to chance. And so I want to use a tool to see if there are images, there are clues in the images. So what I'm going to do, open a new tab. There's this tool called Stag Hide. Let me see if I have it. Oh, Stag Hide. Okay, let me quickly install it. Okay. So let me check my folder. I think I can seed into Alice from here. The place where I kept all my pictures, right? So let me say Stag Hide. Now, what are my options here? Okay, so dash help. I want to know the options that I can use to extract something in there. So if you want to extract a file, it says XF. If you want to extract, you have to use the -E. Extract to extract data. I want to see if there's any data in the picture. So I think that will be the flag I can go for. Yeah, I don't think there's any other option for me here. Okay. Okay, so then let's give it one of the names of the pictures. Let's see if there's a file there. Oh, okay. Am I doing something wrong? Okay, let's see if let me see if I'm doing anything wrong. Okay, so the error message has changed, meaning that I'm almost there. Okay. File name, so SF. Okay. So I just want to be sure I'm not missing out anything in the command. So let's see. From this, okay. If it asks you for a passphrase, just press enter. I'm not sure they didn't encrypt it with any password. If you know the password to for a file that the person created, you can. Oh, not supported. So let's go for the JPEG and see. JPG. Okay. Okay. So realize that this is not supported, but it says that if there's any password attached to this picture, it couldn't get it because I didn't provide a password. So let's see if there is one here. Okay, so now this is different. When I try the same command on the white rabbit picture, it is saying that it has extracted a certain file called hint.txt. So let me see if it's yes. Now it's part of where I stored my pictures. So now that it's here, let me see its content. Hint says follow the rabbit. Okay, and it's RABB. He has separated it. Okay, so I think this is leading me back to the clue I talked about earlier, which was this particular folder looks a bit suspicious. So if you look at the way he has separated the rabbit. Look at the way that he has separated the rabbit, and you look at this, you clearly see that if you put in the slash it fits. So this hint is actually leading us, wow, it's actually leading us to this thing that we've already found earlier on. That's great. So now that we know that, and we visited the site, what next, right? So we know that the hint is pointing to this particular website. So let's visit it once again. Where is it? Okay, this was the image we have dealt with this. Let's close this. Okay, so this is it. This is where it says we should focus on. So is there a clue here? Open the door and enter the Wonderland. Oh, you sure to do that? Okay, if you only walk long enough. Okay, so it's asking us to actually enter. Okay, so I've always said that whenever you look at a website, look at also the source code. Sometimes they decide to leave certain things in the source code as hints, usually as comments, right? Okay, I don't have a comment here, but looking at it, this one was not part of the write-up on the screen. So if you look at it, you see that everything here can be found in the source code or page source, but the line that has been highlighted is not there. And I see Alice and a long string. This is giving me some vibes like this is a username and this is a password. Let me try it and see, right? Where will I try it? I'll go back because from my Nmap scan, port 22 was opened and I said that we don't have any username and password, so we can't do anything about it. Let's see if now we can do something about it. So I will say SSH, the username is Alice, and then I'll add the IP address of the machine. Was it? Where is it? But before, let me make sure I've added my 1 hour. Yeah, I've added 1 hour. Okay, so the IP address of my machine, which is here. Paste it. Think I'm done. It's run on port 22, so I don't have to specify the port. But if it was not run on port 22, I would have to specify the port, right? So because it's running on the default port 22, I can just press enter and it should work for me. What's the issue now? Okay. Am I doing anything wrong? Okay, what's wrong here? Okay, let's see. Okay, so I actually did something. Okay, thing is because I've actually connected OpenVPN and it's interrupting my flow, right? So probably I'll have to switch to the attacker machine that they are providing. Okay, let's try that and see. So let me tell them it's going to be for 1 hour, so I have to be very fast. Let me start an attacker machine. you can click on this to move it to a different tab. Click on this to squeeze it. So this is my attacker machine, because I think I'm running this one here. I think it's interfering with the final thing, which is this, because I see OpenSSH and some other stuff. All right, but this command is supposed to work for me. So let's see, still loading. Okay, if you have any questions, please drop it in the chat. I'm ready to help you answer any of your questions. Let's see if they will permit us to add 1 hour without actually buying it. Okay, drop your questions in the chat. Let's see if you have any issues, just let us know. Whilst this is happening, let me see if there's any clue on the 2 websites. Sorry, on the 2 web pages. Okay, any clue? So first of all, we downloaded all the 3 images, and then we realized that there was a hint attached, and the hint was directing us to focus on this website. It says we should follow it, and I think that's what we are doing. We are trying to follow it, but I have a username and password which I want to try, because there's no way, there's no login portal on this website. So the obvious thing becomes, okay, then let's try it in SSH and see whether it works for us or not. But because I have my connection with TryHackMe opened, it's interfering with the SSH. So let me do the SSH here. So SSH, and the username I want to connect to is this. Let me paste. Okay. It's not allowing me to paste. So I want to see the IP, and then I think I can go back to 10.80.157.212, right? Yes, like I mentioned, and the password. So now I have to come in here and pick my password, which I think should be this. If it works, fine. If it doesn't, we go again. So wow, come pick and bring them here. So what do I do? Can't just pick it because I copied it. Let's see. Okay, so let's see if copying from here will help. So let's copy. Still I can't paste, so let me type it in there. So I'm going to take my time because I'm not going to see it. Such a long password. And yes, finally I'm in. It was such a long password, I had to actually memorize it. And I'm in. So now that I'm in, let me see where I've landed. Okay, so I'm in Alice. And then, okay, let's make it bigger because hey. Okay, let's see what folders that I have in here. Okay, so I have bash history file here, which is writing to dev now, meaning that nothing will be saved on this machine. Bash log, bash rc root.txt. However, unlike the other files that are owned by Alice, this one is owned by root, and we don't have the password for root now. And there is this file also owned by root also here. Wow. So how do we find the user file, right? So let me quickly do a find, start searching from the root folder. That's everywhere on the PC or the server. And then I want a type of file and the name. Don't just don't look at the case sensitivity. Should be remind me, come on, remind me. It should be user.txt. And then if you don't find it and there are errors, write it to dev now. Are you back? Are you here with us? If you are here, please just let me know. Sorry, got disconnected. Are you here with us? If you are here, please. Okay, I think we are good to go. Let me see some reactions in the comment section, in the live chat. Quickly. So let me find this user file. Okay, so it couldn't find anything like user.txt. Wow. Okay, but let's check this. So when we go to the website, right, let's see if we still find it. User.txt. If if you're not finding anything user, let me see anything that has a txt. Okay, that's all right. Okay, that's all right. So now you're logged in as Alice. Let's see if we can elevate our privileges to become root, because we are only finding root.txt and Alice doesn't have access to user.txt. So what do? Let's just okay, so let's just look at it. Okay, so what permissions does Alice have? So let's type Alice password. Wow, that long thing again. This is going to be a big blow. Okay, now I've been able to paste. Sorry, what's the issue? Let's copy, paste it one more time. Oh, there's something about this password that is actually preventing me from. Okay, so I now know it's not coming from. Okay, so let me think it's rather pasting something else, not the password. So let me type the password. Yes, so once I entered Alice's password correctly, it is telling me that Alice can run this command. Okay, so I think we've seen this file here. We've seen this file. We've seen this file here. Where are you? We've seen it. When I did the LSLA, there was a file that we saw that looked like this. So okay, so it means that, okay, let's do the ls-la once again. Yes, this is the file, right? So this is the file, and it says that it was created by root. Is that okay? And so I'm wondering how we'll be able to open it, because we did not create it and we don't own it. So what do I look out for here? Is there something I'm missing? Let me try it and see. So sudo -u. Before that, what's in that file? So let's cut it and see. Wow, what's in it? Okay, so some sort of poem. So it's importing something, then a poem follows, right? It's importing random. Then a poem follows. And it says random something something. Okay. So okay, that's good. That's good. So right now what I would do is simply let's run it and see. Let's run this and see. Sudo, and I'm running it as Alice user, so I'll say Alice user. Then I'll copy what we got, that is this guy, because Alice can run this whole thing. Okay, let me paste. Hopefully it pastes the right thing. Okay, so this thing is not helpful. So let me open a text file here. Copy this. So I'm waiting for it to open. I want to, okay, or better still, I want to clean this up. Okay. So this is what I want. I want to run this command and see what happens. Okay. So let me paste it in there. Paste. So Alice is not allowed to execute this. Wow. Okay. Okay. So it means I'll have to do something to the file to allow me to execute it. And when it executes, it should not just write the poem for me. So what I will do is to inject something into the import. It's actually importing something, right? And what is important is the random model. And that random model, I can go in there and change it. I can go in there and change what is actually in the random model. Is that okay? So what's actually happening is this. Let me show you once again. As soon as you run the cuts, with the file in here, it imports random. Now this is how it works. It looks through your current folder to see if there's a file called random.py, then it would now import it. If it doesn't find it in there, then it now goes outside of your current folder and search your computer system, the entire hard drive, to see if it will find this random. So if we create a file with the name random.py, it will first pick our random.py instead of the original file. You understand? Right? So that's what I'm going to do. So, oh, come on. Hope it's not frozen. Yep, that's a good thing. So let's say sudo. Nope. Let me just use nano. Then what else? Come in. Okay, so random.py. We are trying to create our own file. So let me use sudo. Within the current, okay, so which, let me see if it has mouse pad. Okay, it doesn't. So let me go for Vim. Yes, it has Vim. So I'll say Vim. Vim is a text editor like Notepad++. So it's just a bit complex. So to type in here, I just have to press I. Once you open Vim, you have to press I to insert text. And I'm going to insert my malicious code here. So let's import something. So let's import sys. I'm importing sys because I'm going to do something with system, a higher privilege. Print sys.path. Okay, let me make a double quote. So I'm writing the random file for myself. Then let's do this. Okay, so nope. So let me just write it this way. So import os. Let me use this simple method. os.system. Then we have what we want to do /bin bash. So what we are saying that anytime it's going to look for this random method, it should give us a bin bash shell, right? So now that I'm done, I would press shift and colon. Sorry, I'll press escape, right? If you are done editing, you press escape, then you press shift colon, then you press W kill, then you press enter. W to write it, kill to quit. So now that if you now run rabbit python 3.6 and then the file name, then actually it is going to now run it's going to now pick our random.py and then it's going to give us a shell. Let's see if this works. Whoa. Am I missing something in here? Too bad. Am I missing anything in here? Okay. So ls. Okay. cd. Let me go to /root ls. Okay. cd. Okay. So I'm inside Alice. I want to see, so cd dot. Let me see if there are other users there. So let me cd into rabbit. Okay, I can't go in there. Okay. Wow, so the pi. So the issue was I cleaned the .py from it, and so it was not allowing me to run. That was the issue. Okay. So now we have switched users from being Alice to being rabbit. We are one step closer, or probably we are there. We are still not root, so we are one step closer. So we were Alice. Now let's see, who am I? Rabbit. So we've changed from being Alice to being rabbit. Okay, let's see what rabbits. Let's go into, let's print where we are. We are still in Alice folder, so I'm not sure we'll be able to do anything here. So let's go to rabbits folder. Okay. Let's go into rabbit folder. Let's see what rabbit as a user has on the system. So these are all normal files. So I think the only new thing is the tea party. And this tea party, if you look at all the other files, it looks a bit strange. So let me say file, and then let me say tea party. I want to know the type of file that it is. So this is a setuid, more like a binary, right? Okay, setuid, setgid. This is a file system. So this is what we call a suite permission. The setuid, setgid. This is a suite permission. So if you check it, these are permissions for every folder or file that you open on Linux. Usually they are 9 in number, but if you look at this, it has a special letter S. It has a special letter S, which means suite permissions are on. When we say suite permission, it's a temporary permission that is assigned to a user to use a particular application. So let's browse a little on it. Suite permissions. So it's a special that allows a user to, it's a special permission that allows a user to execute a file with permission of the file owner rather than their own. So somebody is giving you temporal permissions to run something on the computer using your permissions, but under normal circumstance, it's supposed to have been the person's permissions. I hope you get it now. So quickly, okay, so what do I do now? Quickly, let's see. Is there anything I can do about this suite party? Let's find out what is in the file that Tea Party file. Let's find out. This is a normal. This is a normal file. This is not. So that's why it's saying it's a binary. Like if you say binary in Linux, more like the setup file, right? More like that. So this looks a bit gibberish, except for a few strings in here. So let me only get the strings. I want to see only the strings. So I'll say strings. Okay. So I'll say strings, then Tea Party. I want to only see the strings in here. Sorry, I think it should be string, not strings. Okay, still not found. Okay. So we see something like welcome to the Tea Party and a bin echo, right? And a date and next hour. So welcome to the Tea Party. The Mad Hatter will be here soon. Bin echo dash n, probably by. So I think this is trying to get the system date and print it on the screen and tell you that the Mad Hatter will be here soon. Probably by, then it will print out the date. Or the date and time. I think it should be the date and time. So it's trying to guess the time where Mad Hatter will come. So can I do something about it? Since it's running a binary bin echo, and then there's another binary being called here date. Can I do something about it? Yes. So the same way we did for the random, where we imported random and we rather asked it to pick it from our random and not the original random, we can do something about the date. So if we want to, then we must change it and give it our credentials, or better still, what do I do? Okay. So so I'm going to find a way to change the date, and if I change the date, I'm going to now ask it to run, then I see what will happen, right? So let me do a sudo -l to also see the permissions that Rabbit has. I don't have Rabbit's password, so it's not going to work. Okay, I don't have a password for Rabbit. I just use something to get in there. So now what do I do? Okay, so I'm going to create another date file right here so that it will just pick it, like the one I did for the Python import that was random. So let's try it and see. So I'll say vim, and then this time the file name was date. All right. Okay, date. So what do I do? Let's see. So to type in here, I press I, and then let me give it a malicious payload. So I'll say echo something similar to what we're seeing, but instead of going to bin echo, I will say bin bash. That means open a terminal for me, right? Output that to /home. Okay, so let me do this. Let me do this. Create this like this. Bin bash. Then let's say I think I'm done. Let me see if this works, right? So I press escape, colon, then WQ. Okay. So now it has to have run permissions. Let me see ls-la. The date I created doesn't have any execute permissions. It cannot be executed from here. This is what I mean by execute. This X permission here means it can be executed. But what I created doesn't have execute permission. So what I will do is to give it chmod plus X, right? Then I'll say ./date. Okay. So let me do another ls-la. So now I think I can execute it because it has XXX in there for execution, right? So what happens if now I trigger the T party? So let me run T party and see, because I'm expecting it to pick from the date. Yes. Yes. I think we have a shell, right? So let's do ls. Oh, too bad. Disappointment. So there's a fault and something is failing. So it means that we are almost there. We are almost there. Okay. Let me use the string and see if I'm missing out anything else, right? Strings. Okay. So I don't have strings in here. But I think what I'm missing out on, I'm missing out on something small. Okay. Where are you? Where are you? Okay. So I think it's not picking my date because unlike the Python that would naturally look into my current folder and try to look for the file that I want to import, this one, it will rather go to a variable we call path, right, to go and search for it there. So it's not able to pick it directly from the folder where I've placed it. So I have to check this variable path and then see where it actually picks. So for this PC or for bin bash to run anything, it first of all has to pick it from user local sbin. So either I put my date here, the file I created as date here, or I tell it to look into my folder first, because it will first of all look into this folder. If it doesn't find it, come to this folder. If it doesn't find it, come to this one. Doesn't find it, come to this until it gets to the last one. So I want to add my current folder to the path variable so that it will search my current folder first. So to do that, I'll simply export the path. So I will export it. So I will export this path and say I'm exporting a path, and the path name is home, right? Rabbit, and export that as a path for me. Anything in home rabbit, export it as a path for me, and it should come before any other path, right? So I press enter. Now let me run the T party again, because at first it was not picking my the contents of my folder first. It was rather going through this path. So now that I've exported this path, let's see if it worked. Nope. Let's see if it worked. So let's echo path again. So now you see that I have the home rabbit first before the user local sbin. So it will first of all look into my folder and see if it exists before it actually goes anywhere. So let's run the T. Where are you? Okay, so /T party. Let's see. Whoa. It's working. So now I'm actually Hatter. This is amazing. I think we have to take some time to ask questions, because I moved from being Alice to being Rabbit, and now I am Hatter. So let's see, what permissions do I have, or where do I find myself after I became Hatter? Okay, so let's cd into Hatter. Okay, so cd Hatter. So all these are users on the computer, and wonderful. As soon as I went into Hatter's folder, it's giving me a password file. Let me see, cat password. Okay, so this could be the password for Hatter. So I can copy it, paste it somewhere. See if I can bring it here. Okay. So, I have just 14 minutes on this machine. So now, what does this guy also have control over? So let me do a sudo -l. Because I know his password, I can paste his password. Oh, okay, he cannot run sudo. Okay, so it means that Hatter's password is correct, but he can't run sudo. Okay. Let me exit this and see. So let's exit. Okay, let's exit once again. Let's exit till we are now on my, where am I? ls. Okay, so I think we are now on my attacker machine, but I now want to log in as Hatter, right? And then the IP of the machine, it was what was it? Okay, 10.80.157 80.157 80.157 dot 212 and now let's paste the password for Hatter. Paste. See. Good. So now I'm signed in as Hatter. Let's see what he has. So let's paste the password again. These are permissions that I want to see. Okay, so Hatter cannot run sudo. That's unfortunate. That's very, very unfortunate. So what can Hatter do? What can Hatter do? Right? So let's see if Hatter can get any privileges, right, that might have been assigned to him using binaries or software that have been installed on the machine, right? And to do that, I have to use a command called getCap to know whether he has some privileges over certain machines. And I'm going to search on the whole machine to see that does he have some privileges over a particular binary. When we say binary, it means software that have been installed on it. If those things are not found, if that is not found, then you should write all the errors to dev now. Yeah. Okay, so it's telling me that it has some privileges. That's the set UID and capnet raw. It has these privileges over Perl and then MTR packet. So it got me thinking, what if I try to abuse this privilege, right? What if I try to abuse this privilege? So let me go to this website called GTFO Beans. I want to look for Perl. How I know I have a way out if I use Perl, but how to abuse my privileges is what I'm looking at. So okay, so this is actually talking about what I want, because it's talking about a cap set UID. So which one do I have that permission over? It is here, cap set UID on Perl. Okay, so if I have that, then I can just simply copy this, bring it to my machine. Let's see if it works. Nope, it's not going to allow me, so I have to type it manually. There's going to be a whole lot. Okay, so let me type it. Slash user bin Perl, right? Nope. Perl, and then after that I press E. I'm just using the command that was given me by GTFO Beans to abuse my privileges. I realize Hatter may be having some privileges over some binaries, right? So why not look at them? So there is this privilege he has to set UID. Okay. set the UID to 0, and then exec / bin bash. Okay. So what I'm trying to do is just type out this command, which is here, same thing as is here, and this should be able to elevate my privileges. That's what we call privilege escalation. Should be able to elevate my privileges. Let's see if we get another user after this. Something is wrong. Okay. Something seems wrong. Okay. Okay, so okay, so I just want to confirm if all is well. Okay, I think there's no space in here. Okay, let's see. Great. And finally, just because of the space, now we are root. So let's find out what we can. So now we have been able to move from being Alice to being Rabbit to being Hatter, and now we are root. So let's see the into root. Nope. Let's see the to root to find out what is there. We have the user. Oh, okay. So this is where the user flag has been hidden. So let's cut user.txt. Let's cut it out. Great. Okay. And we already know where the so this is the user flag. Let's paste it in here. Check. And then let's go for our root flag, which was actually found. So /home. Our user flag was in home. I think it was in Alice, right? So let's see. Let's cut out. So actually they interchanged it, putting the user flag in the root directory and putting the root flag in the user directory. I think it's all based on the book. Okay. So let me know your thoughts. Let me know your thoughts about what we just did right now. Okay. Let me know your thoughts about what we just did right now. If you have any questions too, please drop it in the chat. Okay. I'm wondering why. What's the issue? Okay. 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 So thank you so much. Thank you so much. And enjoy the rest of your evening. My attacker box is almost up. Think we can now power off. Thank you. Signing out. This is Hack with Elvis. Please like, share, and subscribe. See you in the next one. Bye bye.